Well, hello everybody and welcome. We're just sitting here in Bromont, Quebec, which is located south of Montreal, not too far away. And we're going to operate a flight from Bromont to Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, which is also located south. Um, Currently on Xplane 11 in a Beechcraft King Air C90. This is a modified version of the default King Air C90 that comes with the simulator. The coder who designed this did a really good job. And the flight will be operated on the Vatsim network. That's what I usually work on when I'm on Xplane. The Vatsim network is basically the multiplayer version of the, I guess, flight simulation world. It includes pilots from all over the globe and air traffic controllers controlling the airspaces around. So they're not always online, the air traffic controllers. So when they're not, you just revert to uncontrolled communication and flying procedures. So areas that you wouldn't expect to ever have zero ATC, like New York or even here in Montreal, if there's no ATC, it's just uncontrolled. So, and there's a common frequency, 122.8, that we broadcast our positions, intentions, and whatnot, and coordinate with other airplanes. Yeah. So, but in real life, obviously, there is a lot of air traffic control service available in very busy airspace. So, yeah. So right now, this is like a quick look overview is what's going to happen. I'm going to basically run the session in real time. I'm going to have simulated, or I'm going to have random failures programmed. So things can happen or may not happen at random times, and the exercise with that is just to deal with it as they come, maybe manage and be proactive before things happen. So all this is to mainly for my own practice to um, keep that discipline there when it comes to CRM and skills and basically basic piloting competencies, right? Just for my own personal practice. So it's going to be westbound to Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Altitude of 4,500 feet, should be about 15 minutes airborne. And weather-wise, there's just, if I zoom out here, there's a low pressure about up here bringing in a cold front. That cold front should hit the Montreal area in about the next couple hours. Embedded cumulonimbus clouds as well, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that. The King Air does have some sort of weather radar on it. I don't know how good it really is, but I'll have it on for today, and we'll see. Might not see anything, just because we might be ahead of all that. And the high pressure that brought in a lot of heat is moving to the northeast. So the high heat is a factor for the airplane performance, so it's going to be something to consider for takeoff, landing, even in flight. Terrain's not a factor. There's all kinds of high terrain to the west, to the east over here. So, but we're going this way, and there's no terrain factor there. And airspace-wise, I mean, there's only this restricted airspace there. It's only active by NOTAM, so today it's not active, but I like to stay clear of it. Glider activity to the south of Saint-Jean, but today is a day where there isn't glider activity, so coming in from the south and going through that glider zone is going to be okay today. And there's that airspace here as well to watch out for. And of course, if Montreal does come online, well, to consider ATC comms. Yeah, besides that, that's it. All weather looks good around. Winds are both airports from the west and light to variable. So no issues there. Airplane's currently fueled up, and we're connected to external power here in Bromont, assuming that the FBO does have external power and ground carts. So plan is to start the engines here on the ramp and disconnect from external power, run the after start and before takeoff checklist in position. Once that is all done, we'll venture out. So I'm just going to brief my my things here. So the airport and aircraft status is normal. The NOTAMs to consider, no NOTAMs for Bromont except for towers and whatnot. Departure procedure will be off of runway 23. We're going to climb on the runway axis to 3,500 feet or 3,400 feet. Leave the sector and proceed westbound towards Saint-Jean. Stay clear of that little restricted zone to the southwest. And in event of an engine out scenario, if we lose an engine on takeoff, I'll just do a 10-degree heading change to the right, and then clean up the failure. If it's time critical, we'll come back here. If it's not, we'll just find a little comfortable spot to play in and figure out what we got to do from there on, rectify the problem. Noise abatement and restrictions on the airport, there aren't any except for to the south glider activity, and every traffic pattern is going to take place northbound at this airport. Speeds for departure will be V1 of 90 knots VR, rotation 95, V2 will climb out 110, just above the blue line. Performance is considered, accelerated stopping distance 4,500 feet, the temperature 30 degrees here, and the runway is 5,004 feet, so we got enough runway to do all that. Configuration for takeoff will be bleeds on flap approach. We'll clean that up after we set, before we set our climb power. Get the aircraft all cleaned up. Airborne and taxi out is as briefed. Arriving into Saint-Jean, will arrive from the southeast via the Saint Alexandre area, 1,600 feet, cross the airfield overhead, and join the mid-downwind runway 29 left-hand circuit for a full stop landing at 1,100 feet. And that's that go-around plan there. Depending on why we went around, St. Hubert's also available if need be. Saint-Jean does have no towns associated to the airport. Just runway 2911 is the only active runway, and the others are closed. Some taxiway closures to the north of the airfield as well. No gliders today there, and that is that. Configuration for landing will be props full fine on the approach and full flap landing. And we'll exit off of, I believe it was taxiway Delta. So all that's been briefed. So make sure I'm flight ready. My documents, legalities. In real life, I do check that before I go. That's all been done. Flight planning is completed. Aircraft pre-flight fully complete. Passenger briefing. I'll assume no passengers today. Fuel and oil. Fuel, I require 500 pounds. I got about 800 and a little bit in the nacelles. It's not worth burning it off in flight, so got quite a bit of extra fuel. Yeah, just short of 800, maybe 700 pounds. So got about an hour and a half worth of fuel, which is good. Oil, assume that it's boarded and checked. The cargo is secure, assuming winter operations not applicable. Final walk around. So before I close the door, I like to step outside one final time. So I've already done the walk around, let's say, but this is just I like to do this in the simulator. I keep my brain active on it, but just to make sure that everything is cleaned up and haven't forgotten bags, chocks, if you want to keep your chocks, access panels closed, fuel caps, stuff like that. Maybe a last word with the ground crew to brief your the way you want to depart out of the ramp and start up, and you're happy with everything. Hop into the back, wave them off, and close the door. Pretend that goon wasn't there. All right, and weight and balance performance hasn't changed since we've closed the door. We're ready to go. Our flight instruments are all set up. Our flight's briefed, and just need to run the for takeoff checklist. For takeoff checklist, cabin door locked, and the light is usually there, and that's been closed. Load baggage secure, passenger briefing not applicable, brakes on. Battery switch on. Engine anti-ice, but they're off. Fuel quantity checked. DC voltage All right, so again, batteries are still good at 20. The battery's still good at 24 triple fed bus, center bus, and the external power showing 28 volts is good for a start. And we're on external power, beacon light on. Power lever idle, propeller levers fine, condition levers idle cut off, environmental off, and avionics and inverters off, generators left and right off, ramp area clear. We'll start the left engine first just to keep him as away from the spinning props as much as we could, or for keep him there as least amount of time possible. So we give the ground crew the signal that we're ready to start left engine. He says okay. Left engine is clear. Left boost pump on, boost pump light out, and ignition start left. ITT rise. Coming down. Starter cut out. Oil pressure, temperature checks. Propellers are coming up, fuel flow's good. Rotation turbine is good. Or compressors rather. That's a good start. Engine looks fine. Signal MS, start engine 2, right engine, he says okay. Right fuel boost pump on, boost pump light out, ignition start right. Above 12% fuel on. ITT rise. Coming down. 50%. Starter cut out. Oil pressure, temperature checks. Turbine, the compressors look good. Props are spooling up. Fuel flow's good. Let the engine stabilize. Gauges, engine indications look good. That's all clear. And select that. We got our bus ties open. And external power is elected. You can tell him he's good to disconnect. And this fake switch here disconnects the switch, pulls his card away, or his plug-in, and he's gone. I'll run through the after start checklist or after start flow. Those lights went out. It's battery charge light on. That should go away soon. Just gonna check that cadence is around 24 triple fed, right generator, center bus, external power still shows off. It's good. And, there we go. The battery charge light is off. Left gentize the bus transfer and the right gen tie open, or the bus tie open rather. Or correction, that's the bat tie, right? Reset. Okay. Go to reset. Should close that. Awesome. Man tie closed. Closes the eyes. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to hit a reset there. And we're good. I'll go with inverter 1. Semi-flap approach. the real King Air, the trim wheel wouldn't move if I use the electric trim because the trim switch is off, but the game assumes that you're just moving the actual wheel physically. On the yoke, right here is the electric trim switch. So obviously that wouldn't move because I don't have the trim switch on, but I mean, Xplane 11, it assumes that I'm moving the trim, just the trim alone, so. All right. Good. Oops. Flight controls. Yeah, that's good. Movements, rudders are free. Awesome. Oops. That's all set up. I won't use that. That's on. These are on. That's good. And I'll look at my pneumatics. High idle. Awesome. Last but not least, I have to start checklist propellers forward, auxiliary fuel pumps off, left right generator on, inverter number 1, fuel control heat. Not applicable to the aircraft. Engine gauges, oh yeah, engine gauges still look good. Announcer panels black. Black is beautiful. Engine gauges check. Life port system not applicable. Environmental set. Leader on. Vacuum pneumatics check. TI system not applicable for today. Time start noted. Auxiliary power on. I have to start checklist complete before I take off. Checklist autopilot. Yaw damper off. Pressurization rate set. Trims 1, 2, and 3 checked. Flap set and approach. Prop sync off. Flight controls checked. Flight instruments haven't changed. Auto feather armed. And engine anti-ice off. Briefing, I'll run a mini brief on the taxi before taking off. Checklist complete. That's just for the weather radar. I won't really refer to that since we're VFR. Left, right clear. Fuel truck there, and move sometimes, so we'll keep an eye on it. Brakes off. Vatsim traffic in the Bromont region. King Air Golf Alpha Lima X-ray. South apron taxiing for runway 23. Westbound departure VFR Bromont. And a little brake check. Left, right, both. Alright, so I'll run the lineup checklist leader. Open environmental set, ice protection. This goes out, promo, uncontrolled by Vatsim, do like that on out. Transponder out, ice protection. I won't bother with any of it today. Lights to go, auto ignition. Armed, weather radar on. Cabin is ready. Assuming no passengers and failures, I'll put that on the runway. So lights and failures to go. And out for VFR traffic, no IFR traffic. Bromont traffic, King Air Alpha Lima X-ray taking position, runway 23, westbound departure, Bromont. Left right's clear, lights on. So this is my own little check here. Fuel is check, configuration set, aircraft instruments are good. And when we're lined up, I'll just sync the heading and do the failures lineup check is complete. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Traffic King Air at Golf Alpha Lima X-ray taking off runway 23 westbound departure VFR Bromont. And off we go. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. E1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Quick traffic check. Looks good. Traffic Alpha Lima X-ray airborne runway 23 westbound departure. Bromont. Alright, then there's our acceleration. Height will retract the flaps. Yaw damper on. Set our climb power. Lights off. Gear flaps are up and up. There's 35 for 4,500 feet. Once leveled off with the after checklist. Sorry, correction. Yeah, the after checklist. Traffic checks. Start your VFR turn. Traffic King Air Alpha Lima X-ray 4,400 feet, 5 miles west, heading westbound towards CZBM and en route to Alpha Lima X-ray. Of course, in real life, you can go on an en route frequency and broadcast your intentions and positions. I won't do that on here, but as long as we think about it, I mean, that means that you've considered it. So set cruise hour. Farnham right there, that restricted airspace north of it, so. After takeoff, check the gear flaps up and up, taxi landing lanes. Off, yaw damper on, propsync on. Pressurization is looking good. I won't play with it too much since we're below 10,000. Engine gauges announced here, panel checked. And outside left, wing and engine right, wing and engine check, looks good. After takeoff, after takeoff check looks good. Cruise checklist. Condition meters low idle. Ice lights off, right back direction. Cruise power set. Auto feather, I'll leave it on. So a few gauges. I won't look at them now. Pressurization is the same. Engine gauge is the same. Push check is complete. Talked about arriving at the same. Asia. Sacred wire should be around here somewhere. But yeah, so the aircraft is still the same. The weather GOTAM's kind of changed between the last 15 minutes, and it looks good. As you can see CZBM from here. The aircraft performance hasn't changed as well. To be brief, we're all set up for it. I'll set 1,600 feet here. 1,600 feet set for the arrival. First altitude for arrival, rather. Go around plan is the same. Taxi in will be available taxiways to the north, on the north side of the airport. Here's the checklist complete. Then approach altimeter still the same. Pressurization checked, quantity checked, and we'll check again here. Looks good. Box check pumps off. Flight instruments are still good. Auto feather, RM type for setting up. Approach rate completed. And descent approach check. Active monitoring of the airplanes is not a bad idea, especially on a plane where it doesn't really announce much to you. Except for this, but you know, you have low oil pressure. You see that is on your pressure and temperature gauges. Pressurization as well. I mean, it's not a factor today, but an eye out on that. Mitigate any problems. Could attack the early cabin depressurization or leaving. Gauge on traffic, King Air Golf Alpha Lima X-ray about 7 miles in the southeast, 4,500 descent for 1,600. Looking for a mid downwind, runway 29 full stop. Asia. We'll start our initial descent here. Again, it'll be leads on, flat full fine for the landing. The runway's long enough. You should only be props and gears in position, touchdown, and the moment I touch down, I'll drive the propeller levers forward to fine, and then go into my beta/reverse rate. This is a good time to have a look at the traffic pattern as you level off. You have a good bird's eye view. Unintended. Set my heading bug for 29. It looks awfully quiet here. Lap approach. Gauge on traffic, King Air Golf Alpha Lima X-ray, 1,600 feet overhead the field. Descend on the north side to join a mid-left hand downwind runway 29. Asia. Alright, there it looks good.
1,000.
Roger that. Up here in this area, and right hand side and left hand side of the down leg looks clear. You're down. Sorry about that. I'm going to stick with the mouse. First, not ready. You check that. Off, and we'll join the downwind now, comp sync off again. Left and right looks good. You're on traffic in here off of max rejoining left down for 29 full stop station. Landing checklist, so we got 3 green on the gear, that's good. Engine anti-ice off, the gears down, 3 green landing, and tax lights on, prop sync off. Propellers to go, flaps to go. Landing checks. Alright, the base leg looks good, the final leg looks good. Props look fine. On a twin, I don't mind being a little low. On a single engine, you might want to be a little bit on a single engine, you might want to be a bit higher in case you use the engine. You want to make the field. But on a twin, it's more, you got 50-50. You're not likely to lose both engines all at once. That'd be a really bad day. I'll leave that one lit up for the go-around. Final leg look clear. Traffic, Alpha Lima X-ray. Final runway 29 full stops in show.
400.
Go flaps. Well, we got props. Full landing checklist 3 greens.
300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, speed's under control. Track the flaps. A bit of a bush kind of approach and landing that. Should add that up so you can see the flight control movements, but there was a lot of correction involved. Had to correct my slope a little bit, factor in a little bit of a crosswind, and the gusts. Let's get the right side's clear. So this taxiway here is open. Pilot is a particular operation. Yeah, this taxiway here is open, but it's only closed up to, I think, close to where the fuel tanks are. But I'm going to head over into the ramp there. Saint-Jean traffic in King Air Alpha Lima X-ray down and clear runway 29 taxi Charlie. Now for the northbound Maple Saint-Jean. Yeah, but not too bad on the crosswinds. You can see the windsock's pretty dead, but you know, still wind that's working against you, so we'll have to factor that in. Oops. Reset. And on the afterline, check this props forward, auto ignition off, auto feather off, ice protection off, lights as required. Weather radar, save turn it off, transponder on Xplane 11. There's no graceful braking on Xplane, so kind of tap my brakes. Yeah, just gently slow her down. Transponder out, bleed air. Leave it on until I shut down flaps or track the trims reset. After landing checklist complete. Good eye on the ramp here to see what's going on. And taxi light off. Yeah, in an airliner you would probably never do that kind of an approach, but 29's a particular runway. It's not very long. There's trees right at the threshold almost, and you have, unless you do that little dive down there, depending what airplane you're in, you're gonna land really long. I mean, in the King Air it's not so bad, but if you're flying a high speed or high performance airplane, park it right in front of the tanks. Yeah, if you're flying an aircraft that high performance twin or single engine that doesn't have reverse, then you're looking at chewing up a lot of valuable runway. Okay. Alright, so go straight. Yeah, try not to do this in real life. I've only seen it happen a few times, but I wouldn't recommend it in real life. Maybe on Xplane 11, just to... Alright. Brakes on. Let the engines cool off a little bit. Bleeders off. Alright, temperatures are good. Come to the back, run a parking checklist, and after the parking checklist is done, step out of the airplane, and we are in Saint-Jean, Richelieu. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's about the eye level height of an average man around the King Air C90. Maybe more like that. There. That's it. Well, thanks for joining. This was a bit of a trial. So, yeah, I'll try to do some more of these. Cheerio.